Hey guys, yeah, it's about 9:12 in the evening. I just got dropped off. It is cleared up now, basically substantially, a little bit. You can see the moon right there. But I wanted to come on here because I attempted to do this earlier, except for some odd reason my phone decided to kind of cut off at a certain length. But anyway, in the video where I talked about AEW, basically going into 2023, basically with momentum. Basically, it's got a lot behind it. I think I kind of touched upon MJF a little bit. And mostly the newsworthy thing that came out of Dynamite last night when it comes to MJF is the fact that, well, one, he introduced his own custom championship, basically patterned after his scarf he wears, called the Big Burgundy Belt. And also, he turned on William Regal. He basically turned on Regal by using the brass knucks that Regal had given him to win the championship from Moxley at Full Gear to hit Regal in the back of the head. Basically, as I said in the video earlier, Regal got out-deviled by Maxwell. Maxwell had basically out-deviled William Regal. And because of that, Regal was essentially written off television. Or, more precisely, according to numerous reports from very reliable sources like Pro Wrestling Insider, PW Insider, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, and many others, this attack on Regal was done due to the fact that William Regal's contract with AEW is up. Yeah, his contract with All Elite Wrestling is up. Now you might say to yourself, well, wait a minute. Regal debuted at Revolution earlier this year. And normally, Tony Khan signs a lot of his new talent, whether it's just on-screen talent or in-ring competitors, wrestlers, if you will, to multi-year deals. So why is Regal up so soon? And that's a good question, because a lot of folks, have kind of, thought along the same line of, why is Regal's up so soon? And I think it's mainly because of the fact that Regal, well, he doesn't really offer much, in the grand scheme of things. When you think about it, he doesn't really offer much. As I try to adjust my camera here, hold on. But like I said, he doesn't really offer much, in the grand scheme of things. And when I say offer much in the grand scheme of things, basically Regal, can't compete in the ring anymore. Well, he could compete in the ring if he wanted to, but he can't really, go like he used to in the ring. He can't really go like he used to in the ring. And more importantly, he was just there. I'm assuming to help. Ooh, hold on for a sec. All right, sorry about that. But like I said, he was just there to assumedly help push the younger talent, as well as create a new faction, if you will, a faction that could reform on and off, with or without, someone like Regal being there. And, he accomplished that. He put together the Blackpool Combat Club, the BCC. He helped elevate the likes of Wheeler Utah. And more specifically, he helped, elevate the likes of, MJF. But again, you list all that off and everything, and you wonder, well, why would Tony Khan sign Regal to just a 1-year deal, less than a year, 11 month, basically an 11-month deal? Why would he do that? And I think what it was is that, I think what it was is that Regal, when he was let go from WWE earlier this year, at the beginning of this year or the end of last year, probably felt and believed he still had a lot to contribute. And by admission, he kind of did. So what I'm assuming is when Tony Khan signed him and everything, he basically was allowed to help, contribute, not just, behind the scenes, but mostly, on screen. He was able to, as I said, help, he was able to help elevate the talent that was there, even the established talent. And he did it, and to me, he did a fantastic job. There is no doubt about that. He did a fantastic job, with what he could do. But also, I think what happened is that Regal, because this is not uncommon in any kind of sports, if you will. People will sign when they become free agents. They will sign less than year deals. They will sign 11 months to 1-year deals just to kind of see what it's like in a different place. And, we see this a lot with, the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, MLS, you name it. UFC, Bellator, people will sign temporary, 6 months to 12 months deals, I should say, easy for me to say. But they will sign 6 to 12 month deals to basically kind of check things out, to kind of get a feel for how different things are run in one place over the other. And if they feel comfortable in that new place, then they might consider staying. They might consider giving a few more years to it. Or in some cases, they might consider, what, this place is all right, but it's not for me. And maybe that's how Regal felt. Maybe that's the agreement Regal made with Tony Khan. Hey, let me be here for about 12 months or less. Maybe even, okay, who's to say Regal didn't sign up for 6 months? I'm just saying. So, whatever the case is, Regal signed a contract to where he could, I'm assuming he could end it at any time, and he probably said, he probably agreed, hey, I'll do this, for MJF to help elevate him, to get him to the top. But then that's it. I want to go back. I want to leave. I want to end my agreement. And that might have been what happened. Maybe it was. We don't know if Regal signed an actual contract or with a handshake. Because with a handshake, it's like, hey, you don't have to worry about really breaking any contract. You're free to go, and that's it. But yeah, maybe Regal agreed to stay as long as he had to, and when he felt maybe the time was right to leave, he basically gave his notice. He basically said, okay, I'm, going to do what I got to do now, with Maxwell and Moxley and the BCC, and, that's it. That's it. So, again, I'm assuming Regal probably signed a handshake, agreed to one of those deals that we see in other sports, like, temporary 6 to 7 month deals. and I just had 4 cats running in front of me. That is so weird. Anyway, like I was saying, maybe he signed one of those deals. I don't know. Or handshake agreed to one of those deals. We don't know. But yeah, it's not uncommon to see it. But, as far as him, leaving or being, put into this situation, where he's written off TV so he can go back, it's not uncommon in wrestling. Let's be honest, it's not that uncommon in wrestling. And the reason I say that mainly is because of the fact that we've seen it in the past. We've seen it, over the past several years, if you will. And it looks like we got some flooding here. Try to walk around this. I can. Yeah, the rain really hit. So there's a lot of flooding here, so I have to watch my step here. But like I said, we've seen it before in wrestling. Numerous times, even throughout recent years. We've seen, men and women whose contracts are up with other promotions, get taken out. In some cases even killed off. I mean, you want a good example? Impact Wrestling is the home of killing off a character if they're not going to be with the company anymore. Yeah, Impact Wrestling's known to do that. Excuse me, sorry if you couldn't hear me well right there, but yeah, Impact Wrestling's been known to essentially kill off a character if they're not going to stay with the company. I mean, tonight, if you were able to watch Impact Wrestling on YouTube through the Impact Insider program, membership program that is, or even, through Fight TV or wherever, Eric Young, who came back about 2 years ago or something, not even that, 2 years ago or so, I think became world champion when he got back. One of the first big matches he got up, he became world champion. And he created this group called VBD, Violent by Design. He got killed off by Cody Deaner. He basically had Cody kill him off to get rid of the sickness and basically pass the torch of leadership to Deaner. And that's what happened. And now there are reports that this was done because Eric Young is heading back to WWE. Again, this is an example of companies knowing that, hey, we're not going to keep this guy. They're going to probably head back where they came from, or they're going to go somewhere else. And they find a way to take them out, from a storyline perspective. Other examples have been Allie, the bunny on AEW, being stabbed by Sue Young. Speaking of Sue Young, Kimberly and Brandy Lauren had become followers, main undead brides of hers. They allowed themselves to be, in storyline, absorbed into Sue Young because Sue Young legitimately was pregnant, so they had to find a way to storyline-wise write her off, as well as write off Brandy Lauren and Kimberly because, their contracts were up as well. Kira Hogan was killed by Sue Young, and I think one of the last appearances by her was them putting a skull up that somebody, I don't know who it was that went to the underworld. I don't know if it was Tasha Steele or whoever went to the underworld, and they noticed a skull with Kira Hogan's hair on it, or at least a wig that resembled her hair. That's indicating she was killed. Eddie Edwards killed off Killer Cross. The Hardys will turn to ash by decay. I mean, Impact Wrestling's been known to do that kind of stuff. But Impact's not the only one. You know, WWE's done it with talent like, you know, RVD when his contract was up and he didn't renew. They had Randy Orton beat him in I think it was a last man standing match or something like that. And he basically, storyline-wise, probably ended Rob's career with an apron DDT off the barricade onto the floor. And that's how they were able to write Rob Van Dam out of WWE. You know, WCW had the Giant lose to Kevin Nash and, you know, his last match there, you know, and then get beat down. And then following month, he was in WWF, you know, as the Big Show. Again, the list can go on and on and on about these kind of things happening. So it's not uncommon to see Regal, you know, be taken out like this. And it's not uncommon sometimes to where the heel takes basically a potential major player in a story angle like this out because they're heading someplace else. Because then it allows that heel to gloat about it. Even though we as fans nowadays know that, oh, they're just heading, you know, to another company. And that's it. That is it. So, yeah, you know, is it surprising that Regal is leaving in the middle of something, or at the beginning of something that is going to be one of the biggest wrestling angles in the new year? Absolutely. But if you're going to get over someone like MJF as a major heel, as someone that basically cannot be trusted, that's going to use and take out anybody he feels necessary to be at the top, to remain at top and all that, then you need to have Regal, you know, be put into a situation to where basically he is written off out of AEW for good. You know, whether or not he does resign and stay, we'll see. But if he ends up in WWE by the end of the year, by the end of this month, I'm not going to be surprised. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. I am home now, and I will talk to y'all later.